actually,
absolutely.
they'll play the Lee Sin into the set, it looks like here, unless we get a last-minute swap.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, I think both of those melee champions might not have a great time. Viego and Lee Sin do have a decent amount of sustain. You know, is there anybody really that can challenge Ruler? We might have to wait on that discussion because I think Summit might just die here. He's pretty far down the lane. The flash comes in, and with the double harpoon, you're not going to be in a great spot. That is a lot of damage back, but Rascal does flash away, and eventually he will go down. Now the question is, can Krako pull anything back here with the red buff? Gets the one auto down, but he is very apprehensive about going back in, although goes in, gets the teleport. They'll take over the lane, but the first blood still goes over to LIIV.
Yep. This is a first blood. They're going to be able to survive here just fine. Now, you can see BDD is completely shackled right onto his turret right now.
This is still going on. Someone's going to eat 3 turret shots. One of them will be negated by the Haymaker, but he won't be able to use that in a further trade.
Yeah, this probably needs to end soon for LIIV SANDBOX. I think on the top side of the map. Don't want to spend any more resources up there. You're not going to find more success, unfortunately. But we do wait in game. We went for, you know, some armor on his boots here just to survive.
Now BDD is getting in there, but the culling is used. Will have to use his own ultimate to gain some distance. Is now trying to get on top of him. That kick was perfect. Repositions the Haymaker. And now the slow is coming in from LIIV. Look at the rotation now. Summit running to his allies. And will he survive? The answer is no, but might be a trade of 2 as Krako is able to take down Lee Sin. And now it's LIIV all alone on the Rumble. He's got some damage, even throws out the equalizer. Survives for quite a while, but you'd have to imagine that eventually they will be able to pick up this kill as Krako comes in and secures that. We got another teleport to the top side. Never-ending action, it feels like. As the Q will land, but Rascal will not commit.
Now, BDD is
They have put down a lot of vision here.
Scuttle is pretty huge, actually, for LIIV SANDBOX. I can see this rotation over. I think they're a little bit surprised. As Heffert's flashing over the wall, your Hex Flash.
Okay, just really getting on in there. They're trying to burst down the Rumble, and they will be able to pull it off. He knew exactly where LIIV was, as he had not appeared on the other side of that brush. And to take down the jungler, that is a free dragon now once again for LIIV SANDBOX.
Now, Rascal is going to get a lot of extra value on the top side of the map during all this. This is not just for free, but with the Rift Herald dropped mid here, Fate is going to get all these minions and will likely get this turret. It's raid. Which, again, this is where it should stop, right? This is where gen.g have to put a stop to the leads. This is where they can make a comeback. It does feel like he doesn't have to carry. He doesn't have to do much.
Okay, trying to make the play here. And Summit is going to burn down. Eventually goes down. Fate now trying to trade it back. He's got a lot of damage, but with the TP coming in, they will not mess around with that. Although Krako is sticking around, and he will avoid that stun. Flashes over the wall to avoid BDD, so BDD able to get some extra value off of the back of the fight.
And this was very greedy by Summit, pushing the top side of the map there with Krako. You know, you don't have any exterior vision.
Later on in these team fights, because if he just gets blown up and doesn't do anything, they're almost definitely going to lose, you would have to imagine. And speaking of which, he's getting teleported on. He is very far down the lane. There's the equalizer. Easy kick here for Rascal. Basically the alley-oop into the open arms of BDD.
Ruler has cleanse. He's out of here.
They're trying to get on top of Ruler here hardcore, and they will be able to, as he was all alone, and now Summit is just absorbing so much of this damage in the front line. Prince has miles of room to just run at the enemies because of this. And now look at this, the curtain call comes in and the shots are easy as he picks up another one. And LIIV SANDBOX take a huge fight in the enemy jungle.
I really thought that Ruler was going to be fine there. He had cleanse and flash, but it's still not enough to get him away. It was a really nice rotation from LIIV SANDBOX, and they
5 seconds.
They cut the gen.g comp into pieces, right? They were actually caught in such an awkward spot, and that's where you're really going to see Jin get a ton of value with the curtain calls in those moments when everybody's tucking tail and running out, and they can't try to turn the fight, and Jin is impervious to any damage. Nobody can come near him. Rascal rotates over here, but I don't think he's got a chance.
He's going to just hop out. Yeah, he just gets out of there, and that's an easy smite. 20-minute Baron. 20 minutes, 20 seconds, basically.
I mean, they started as it spawns. So Fate gets punished, right? And this is a moment where I was about to start explaining why you can't be too greedy. You don't want to give gen.g free goal, but then Ruler goes way far away. Now remember, he has Flash and Cleanse, but it's Summit who, after the Cleanse is used, is able to not only catch him, but use him to escape in this fight, and sets Kit. I mean, how many times do we have to go back to this? Like, it's just not fair.
No, like, legitimately, in this meta, there's just so many different ways for him to use his kit to get away, to absorb damage. It's pretty ridiculous.
I don't want
what the set can do right now. 0 and 3 as well.
I don't want to criticize Ruler too much for that mistake either, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, well, they're going to get the lockdown. Leona Jin is pretty awesome as a duo, you can see. You're just able to get the tip of the Solar Flare even. You don't even have to land the stun, and with the Deadly Flourish follow-up, you can secure many easy targets, and LIIV is going to die once again. He is not tanky at all.
Yeah.
Really farming that much, and you can see, look at the positioning as well. I think LS would be really happy with this one. They're prioritizing the Ocean Soul over the Baron that is about to spawn, and they're actually looking for the pick on the Rascal first. Wow, that stopwatch gets a lot of value. Still not going to live.
I mean, that was almost just like a mental game, like their mind game, and I'm like, all right, this game, we're so winning, it doesn't even matter, but there's no way he actually thought that was the timing of Solar Flare. but now
look at this.
Coming over here.
Trying to get in. The Equalizer is used on the Baron as they're trying desperately to DPS it down, but the damage is coming out already from Fate, and the chase is on. Summit is going to get a huge engage into that back line and will survive for quite a while. Ruler and BDD still on the run, but Krako and Effort are hunting them down. Ruler will absolutely not be able to get away from this one, and BDD will meet the same fate eventually, as down he goes to the hands of Fate, and they're going to look to push to end the game.
This is very likely just going to be simply the end. Really greedy play here from gen.g to try to rush down that Baron. The LIIV Sandbox had so much vision control. Look at all the wards they still have around the Baron pit. This was not something that gen.g thought they were going to hide or get away with. They just thought, okay, we've got to do something greedy. But
double teleport was available.
Yeah.
You know, the response was right there.
Effort just going to tank it up. They want to end the game right now.
Yeah, they want to get on in there. LIIV is, he's just running away, and they can just zerg it down. They don't even need to look at the enemy champions here, although Fate is going to go down. They got to hit the Nexus. Prince has a lot of room, and one more shot will do it. And in 27 minutes, LIIV Sandbox dominate gen.g in game number 1.
Dominant is definitely the way to describe how this...
You know, who's going to have the jump on some of these team fights, because if somebody gets caught out, if anybody gets caught out, they can just be blown up from the side of LIIV Sandbox and what they have brought in.
I also would think there's a lot of onus in this game on the jungle players, right? Like the snowball that you can have with Krako. I mean, he's got the faster clear.
Oh boy, here we go. The flash already coming in. BDD has the dash. He's able to flash as well to get away from that one, but that's early flash is blown in the mid lane, but also Krako had to flash to try to make that happen.
Yeah, kind of permanent fights I was talking about between the junglers.
Yeah. These early game fights can determine a lot of what happens later on.
Like it's way higher risk, I think, for Clid. If he loses this fight, if this goes badly, he loses his whole jungle.
It's a 3-on-3. Clid is getting in there. They're trying to burst down Krako, but he gets the smite down, and there it is. The set comes in with the face breaker, and now BDD's in the back line with no dash, no flash, no ability to get away from this one. Fate will go down. It's 2 for 2 so far, as the two top laners are going to survive. Rascal's got double buff, though. As the sun will come in, the final Q might be the execution, and there it is. It will be in favor of gen.g, who take down 3 for 2.
Value instead of clearing the jungle, but it's actually staying a camp ahead himself now. But
that's the Q landing, and Rascal takes an extra shot, but he's 4-0 now. As Summit saw it coming, but he was not willing to give up the farm.
This is so greedy.
This is going to come down to the smite, as down goes the Rumble. He doesn't smite the dragon, and Clid is easily able to take down this objective. gen.g are getting so much in this early game.
Yeah, yes, we saw this very extended fight earlier with Rascal.
Fighting over the red buff here. Fate is looking for the angle, as he doesn't find much. Actually goes to the wall, but the Haymaker, or rather the Facebreaker, is pretty large. And now we have a Renekton, a Croc coming in from the back. They're looking for life, actually, but the Emperor's Divide is just massive. Look at that wall. Every single player on the side of LIIV Sandbox cannot pass it, and nobody will die from gen.g.
Yeah, they were on the map.
Rascal eats like 3 turret shots. As we do have an engage on the bottom side, Ruler is all alone. Where is his Tom Kench? Looks like he's actually going to get away. The last auto is not enough. And now we have a bear on the bottom side. It's a lot of burst damage that comes in, eats a rocket to the face to Prince as well. And that bear will not be denied. How about another kill going the way of LIIV as he picks up his third of the game?
Yeah, just a miscalculation on the damage there from Prince.
The bottom side picks up a double kill. Obviously, the 4-0 Lee Sin has the biggest lead up in the top side. So pretty much everything is going well for Gen.g here. The mid lane is ahead on CS, so is the bottom lane. And LIIV SANDBOX, they're just going to try to make a play here on the BDD. They have just immediate CC chain that comes in, and there is no escape for BDD. He's not even able to flash.
He wasn't able to do so. He's still holding onto his flash now.
Oh boy. Summon is still taking these trades. The Dominus comes in, and he's getting in there. He thinks he can take the win, and actually flash used by Rascal, and that's just the kill. If the Renekton is not able to lock down the Lee Sin, you can get the range and execute him with your Q. Rotation from Fate up to the top side, but Rascal easily reads that.
Yeah.
Gets away.
Set was coming up, and I think even seen like forward.
As we do, the teleport's coming in, trying to now get on top of everybody. Charm onto 3, but effort is so squishy. And there's 5 members of Gen.g down on the bottom side, so your teleport is not really going to find too much value here out of both Fate and Summit, actually. As the Q from the Lee Sin is going to miss. They're trying to trade back a little bit, but this is Gen.g's Rift. They're ahead 5,500 gold at 11 minutes in.
Ruler's just getting more gold here on this turret. Plate's going down. He gets 160 off this one, solo by himself. And now they've got the Drake prio that comes with it. They get the Drake. And like you said, the Rift belongs to them. It wasn't about the Kai'Sa pick that we talked about. It was just about everything else. And
yeah, I don't think the draft even matters at all in this one. Just comes down to the fights here as Rascal is going to get caught out here, but maybe he can still get the assassination. Tries to jump in, but they're stacking pretty well as Fate now not able to get the kill. Maybe Prince can do it? Can anyone kill this guy? The rocket comes in and actually gets him, threads the needle through 2 members of LIIV SANDBOX, and it's a trade.
Oh, empty cup. One drop at a time to have the glass half full.
Yeah.
On this one for LIIV SANDBOX. Their comp is not the stronger late game comp either, just to make that clear.
Okay, well maybe 4v1 is the way to get it done. He's, you know, CC from 100 to 0. He got an insane amount of health and he lives. The equalizer comes in, but the Devour is there. 1v4. Rascal survives again.
Starax, he's got Gore Drinker, he's got the Devour, and all 5 members of LIIV SANDBOX nowhere near what will be the soul point here for Gen.g on Infernal Soul. Infernal Soul with a Jinx with... Yeah. Well, LIIV SANDBOX is going to try to get the second Rift Herald here when Gen.g is resetting. I don't know if that's even guaranteed.
LIIV SANDBOX, they know they're very far behind, but...
Dancing on the eye here. Klitz is,
It's perfect that it's Volibear, too.
Oh, man. This is too much for me to bear. No pun intended, but...
Wow.
I didn't actually, that was not intentional. Yes.
I don't believe you.
SANDBOX beat T1, right, when they came back and had the Bane fight. Like, you had a Bane in that game, so you're like, oh, okay, well, Bane kind of fed some items.
This is a pretty early Baron. We'll see how the turn goes. Again, LIIV SANDBOX's engage is really nice. The equalizer does come down. Gen.g, I like that they give respect to this.
Yeah.
I like that they back off. But LIIV SANDBOX, they just don't care. They just don't give a damn. They're like, okay, we'll take the Baron. Wait, no, we can't. We can't quite do that. The spike comes in, and they're trying to get it done. But look at BDD. He just does way too much damage. Prince gets 1 kill, but that's it. He's able to avoid the rocket. And you gotta LIIV SANDBOX sometimes, even when they're getting crushed. They never back down. They don't just let them slow push into the turrets, into the fountain. They're always willing to take a fight, even if it means their demise.
Yeah.
Because they knew that if they backed away, they were gonna lose anyway.
Like you said, they have this
vision though. So if a teleport comes in, they will know immediately.
Yeah.
We'll see if
there's
Fate,
a deeper one. They go for.
Fate is gonna go for it.
Yep.
And so here we go. They see him coming in now. The equalizer is really nice, and we'll see if he can get the angle. Trying to get on top of the Tom Kenta as well. Effort just dies immediately, and now Fate will go in, but the damage is not quite there. As Krako is trying to follow up on that. And here comes LIIV and Rascal looking to get it. I think he just spited him to death there. That is going to be the clean ace and should be the end here of game number 2.
It almost once again went all back to the set, but this is one of those games where set's win rate's going to go down a little bit, but it wasn't about him, and Gen.g just played a fantastic early game. LIIV really started to snowball things when he got those 3 kills, when he was able to get the first kill there in the jungle, and then those 2 on the bottom side.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did he try to walk across and he was actually blocked by his teammate or something? That looks pretty weird. Either way,
guess so.
either way, Ruler with a little celebration perhaps there at the end. Very straightforward game.
In the Braum. The LIIV Sandbox comp, they put the Renekton in mid lane into a set matchup. It's not like it's unwinnable, but it doesn't feel strong. And you have Rumble can come in there and can pay a visit, but set is just so difficult.
I think the W is available for the Kog'Maw, so it's just a nice hook into double play. And again, this is Effort's Thresh. His Fate is maybe just dead. He has to flash away. And now Kroko able to land that harpoon on a BDD as he's going to flash away now. Kroko running away from the Diana as there are some minions helping out in the trade.
And this is what I was talking about. Maybe you can actually lock down the Lee Sin if he tries to trade aggressively. Okay, this might be a bridge too far, though.
No flash on BDD, but we do have Clid coming over as well. Fate getting a little bit low. Looking to get some of that health back. The Haymaker isn't exactly good. As First Blood comes in, Clid goes in for the kill, but now Fate looking to run down this Diana, who does have double buff, but Fate is Renekton and is easily able to win that trade and pick up the double buff for himself.
Yeah, BDD, he got away with it the first
Scuttle on the bottom side. The Diana took the top side, and now BDD's caught out again. We're going to have to see how this happened, but it just feels like he's not really handling this lane very well.
Yeah, and this is a bit... gen.g is able to take this straight. They're in a very nice position in this game, even with the gold deficit. So they're going to group up. See the Lee Sin coming down.
All right, well, just stacking for the death sentence makes it easy, but now the teleports are coming in. Effort in an awkward spot. Rascal looking for the kill on a Prince. This is what you were talking about. There's no peel for this Kog'Maw. He's going to go down eventually. Survived for a long period of time, but it does not matter. Now looking for the turn here is LIIV Sandbox as Kroko comes in, and he's burning literally everybody on the bottom side as Ruler is now on the run. And LIIV Sandbox, once everybody finally gets into the fight, they absolutely stomp gen.g and take down everybody but Ruler.
And it's terrifying that this fight goes so well for LIIV Sandbox. Despite the early lead in the fight for gen.g, they're able to take out Prince, but it just doesn't matter with their comps, especially gen.g. That's just how this game is going to look, right?
Okay, here we go. Looking for the target as the wards will come in. Kroko just going to flash. He says, no, I don't want to have to deal with potentially dying to a couple of control wards. And that's a big fight because it's right before the Cloud Soul.
Yeah, and that one Ocean Drake is getting a significant amount of value actually after all that chip damage.
True. Look at Summon's position though. Look at him right now. He's behind the enemy team as the Gnar comes in, a 3-man guard on the wall. But where is the follow-up? It is non-existent, but at least BDD is cut off from his team, but so is Summit. As they both go into their stopwatches, they will trade their lives. But look at this. Look at the health bars on the side of gen.g. They can't fight after that one, and LIIV Sandbox will take the Cloud Soul.
Absolutely the trade you want to take here in the 1-for-1 here if you're LIIV Sandbox. They're going to take the Cloud Soul, and they're going to try to rotate over to Baron too. Prince does so much damage that he can actually kind of solo this as they rotate away. He's got a Lantern here too. gen.g looking to set up. No vision here.
Okay, if they can blow up Fate, maybe that's the play, but he has a stopwatch. There you go. There it is again. The best item in the game is now we're trying to assassinate Ruler. And Renekton takes down the Braum. This is just finally the tension has been ripped out of this game as LIIV Sandbox take everything, and now they're going to get the Baron.
They're going to get the Baron too, and gen.g know it. Rascal's going to try to get a mid turret for this. I mean, that's your only consolation prize. Clid had the back. It was way too low to do anything. Maybe he'll catch the top wave, but LIIV Sandbox can now very comfortably sit back and then, regroup here and then head towards some inhibitor potential takes here. As this is going to be some extra gold, but that's way less significant than the pushing power they've had control of over the last 10 minutes of this game now becomes even stronger as they regroup. And we're going to watch this fight one more time. This is just so well played from LIIV Sandbox. They have positional advantage. Summit's in the back. It's a triple here on the Gnar into the wall, and he's right in it's such a position where he actually gets over the wall and is not under threat. So he buys so much time here, does so much damage, and it's really just BDD trying to stem the bleeding. But everybody takes so much damage, their health bars are so low, and I mean, Fate knows he has stopwatch. Like, the whole time, he's like, no, I actually walk in blind, I stopwatch, we win this, their health bars are too low.
Exactly. And he's easily able to get out of there as well. The Lantern at the last second, he lives with Baron is here. LIIV Sandbox have everything. The poke potential from their team is massive. It'll be very difficult for gen.g to ever find a quality engage at this point in time.
Yeah, we might have to see the Nexus turret fight, honestly, here for Gen.g to have a hope of coming back.
Look at this. This is what I was talking about before, the equalizer and the living artillery rulers at half health.
You just have to go straight back into the fountain, heal up, and look for that Nexus turret fight. Maybe Set has a miracle engage. LIIV SANDBOX are not going to look for that big of a collapse here because, you know, why would they? Why do they have to force this? They can just retreat, regroup, and then rinse and repeat here. Oh, wow. What a terrifying LIIV SANDBOX we're watching right now.
Yeah.
Like, not just the state of the game, but just with, like, they don't make mistakes right now in this game.
Yeah. A lot of teams in the LCK are kind of leaning into that as a big equalizer. Finally, BDD is just going to go in for it and immediately die as he tried to do something. Maybe he could have waited for the Nexus turrets, but I think the result would have been very similar. As now they're going to be knocking on the door of this Nexus. They clear out the waves very well, and you see Rascal trying to find something to do. Prince will die. Just like that, you can see that ruler is incredibly fed at this point in time. The rocket is not enough to kill him, but it will push LIIV SANDBOX back and give Gen.g another chance.
One more chance is all they're going to get. 2 minutes to go on both Baron and Elder Drake here.
To take this win in the team fight. Just take down the last inhibitor potentially, or even just the turret and go with that.
I mean, it looks like Gen.g might have survived long enough to get an Elder Drake fight here. It's certainly on the cards right now.
Yeah,
survives.
The flanking Rascal trying to come in, but Summit just able to hop away from that one. And the death sentence would have been exactly that, but he does have the stopwatch as the engage comes in. Nice counter engage. The Diana goes in, and they get the wombo combo. They get the backline. They fight Prince, but Fate is still alive. And now it's Summit 1v4, but he can't do it. And have they actually taken back this game? They need to potentially save their base as Rascal's going to go back.
They have to make the call. Rascal's going to go back. They're going to group for the Elder. There's still all of the inner turrets up right now, not to mention the inhibitor turrets here, as this is actually going to be very frustrating to deal with. Rascal comes back here. The base will be fine. Is the Elder Drake enough is the real question. It gives Gen.g a lot more that they can do with the map. They can actually now clear some of the vision. They're the ones who are going to be able to make some aggressive plays now for the first time in what's been about 18 minutes. Gen.g will find one perfect team fight. Rascal starts this off, and like you said, he's not able to get the engage there on the Summit, but the re-engage is really where this all comes down. Rascal has the stopwatch, and you see a huge commitment in here from Fate.
Look at this.
But look at Set. Okay, Diana Set.
It all comes back.
It all comes back to the Set, Valdez.
Yeah.
And the Haymaker here just does so much amazing damage in every scenario. It doesn't matter what the items are. It doesn't matter what the team fight looks like. If the Set gets the Haymaker into every single member of LIIV SANDBOX, it's just too much. He's just like, this is it, right here. I mean, that's the power that we've been talking about the late game.
You gotta look at LIIV.
Yeah.
We have the Baron going down here. Baron and Elder for a minute and a half. SANDBOX, we're thinking about pushing some inhibitors, but they're not able to. They're only gonna get this
for LIIV SANDBOX to make a mistake.
Fate says, well, we can't fight them straight up for the next 30 seconds. He's gonna leave the Kog'Maw in the Rumble to clear the waves, as he's not going to be able to himself, and he will split push.
Yeah.
And here comes the teleport. And he might be forced to come back if they begin to push the Nexus turrets. And that is exactly what they're going to do. They're going into this one. The teleport is coming in from the Renekton. But now Summit on the backside, they still have the Elder for 10 seconds. And now they're able to take down the Gnar. And in goes the Renekton. He'll be taken out. And I think Gen.g will be able to take this game down. The Elder is just too strong for the last 10 seconds. And they make it happen in 40 minutes. As they make a huge comeback to take this series and continue the undefeated streak.
What a massive play from LCK there to bring this game back. The Diana ultimate is just what they need.